Better to have a short life that is full of what you like doing than a long life spent in a miserable way.
Hey guys, my name is Stephen Hooley, and today I want to go over a topic called the final straw. And the reason I want to go over this topic is because I'm willing to bet that no matter who you are listening and watching this video right now, you've had a time in your life where you're just fed up, or even a time when you wanted things to change. And it's very likely that you don't know how to make things in your life change. And when I say, you don't know how to make things in your life change, it could be anything, right? Maybe you have a job that you're not satisfied with. Maybe you have debt. Maybe you're a student. Maybe you have a relationship, I don't know, a marriage or a friendship. But you have something going on in your life and you're not very satisfied, right? You want something to change. And everybody reaches this final straw moment at some point in their life, and probably multiple times in their life, right? But every once in a while, somebody goes through a big final straw moment. It's just absolutely life-changing, not just for them and their life, but for the lives around them, right? And shout out to somebody on my Facebook feed who actually gave me the idea for this topic, Abby. She asked, what was my final straw moment? And to be quite honest, I have a very real final straw moment. I've had a hard life and a rough childhood and rough teenage years too. But coming into adulthood, I experienced traumas as well. The pivot point I can say in my life when it really changed was I was 16 years old, and I used to do the whole pity party. For those of you who may have known me in high school and you might be watching this video, I used to be a very sad person. I wasn't happy, and I wanted people to feel bad for me. I wanted the attention. I didn't quite know that, but I wanted that. And I had to decide at 16 to take a good hard look. I was having some relationship problems with a girlfriend, and I was kind of coming to some realizations that I'm sure a lot of you have been there, girlfriend, boyfriend trouble. But I was coming to some realizations at 16 that I needed to change. I needed to do something different. Other guys my age at 16 years old knew how to drive, and I actually didn't. Fun fact about Steven, at 16, I didn't know how to drive. I didn't even go take the driver's license test. I didn't do it. And, I didn't have a job at the time. And so I had to take a good hard look at myself and say, okay, you don't have a job, you don't drive. And at the time, when you're 16, if you're watching this video and you're over 16, when you're 16, that's a big deal, right? The point is I didn't have much going for me, and I had personality flaws. And, I had a lot of friends, gratefully I had a lot of friends. And so the personality flaws didn't stop me from having them, but it did complicate my life in certain aspects. And most of all, I was so unhappy, and so my first final straw moment was at 16 when I'm going, okay, I need to be a better me. I'm having relationship troubles. I'm having this, not a crisis, that's dramatic, but this self-awareness that I'm just not happy, and I want more out of life. And so I actually took the advice of somebody who told me to use my talents making websites, because for those of you who might know me, you may not know this, but I started programming websites in 5th grade. I made a birthday cake website for a girl, and I haven't talked to her since, but I've been programming a long time. And so when I was 16 and kind of having this awareness phase, somebody recommended to me that I go use my talents for making websites and start a little business and earn some money over the summer. And it just kind of clicked for me. I was just like, wow, yeah, I can do that. Why did I not think of that already? Why did that not come to me sooner? And so I said, okay, I want to make some changes in my personality, and I want to go do this business thing. So I started posting on Craigslist. I started posting on Facebook. I started posting wherever I could to get some basically leads and prospects. And I went to an early college high school called Utah County Academy of Sciences. And so I was walking over to Utah Valley University here in Utah every day. And so I had access to college students, and I decided to not be shy. I decided to go over there and find some people who wanted some websites. And I did. I did it for really cheap or free and built a portfolio, which later I used to launch a tech career. But for that summer, I made $500, which at the time was kind of a big deal. $500 at about 16 years old was, good for me. And I felt proud. And so that was a small final straw moment where my life really kind of pivoted. And then I was 17, and of course, other life challenges come at you at 17, and you have to make more strides, and then 18 and more life challenges, and by then I'm launching a tech career. And then I can honestly say that I kind of cruise through, and my next final straw moment, one of the biggest final straw moments in my life where I really, really made a pivot, was in March 2016. And I'm about to get really real, for a moment, so I hope you don't mind watching this video, but I kind of believe in being real. And so March 2016, my best friend overdosed on heroin. And I had just seen him literally 12 hours before he overdosed. I got a call from his mom. I was actually working at the time, getting some projects done, and his mom called me and told me he was gone. And I remember I picked up the phone, and she just said, he's gone. And for those of you who might have known this friend, you would have thought, okay, maybe he moved out of state. He's kind of wild. He's kind of different. He's very fun person. And so when his mom calls and said he's gone, I'm just thinking, he moved. He talked about moving to Oregon and different states. And so I was like, or maybe he ran away or something. And I just asked the question, what do you mean? And I could hear the sadness in her voice that, when she said he's gone, and then kind of went down here from there. You can kind of imagine how this conversation goes as she tells me that one of my best friends died, and then of course I'm asking questions and trying to figure out what happened and just shocked. And I go through a very dark period in life at this point where, I don't want to function. I don't want to do things. Performance in my work drops. Relationships are suffering. And I'm having more things in my life go on at this time too. I had some family members try to commit suicide. I had some sick family members that it was a little bit alarming and concerning for the sickness at the time. And then you had work stress and family and all these things. And I was very overwhelmed. And, that was a time in my life where for a good few months, I was really lost. And so I started searching around on the internet. I had already dabbled in stocks and kind of been learning, trying to think about taking a Series 7. And I stumbled upon Forex and kind of dove head first. Forex trading is a fast moving niche. It's a $5.3 trillion per day market. And holy cow, it's just, it moves quick. And when you trade, you can really dive in and lose yourself to it. And that's actually what I needed at the time. And so I did. I dove in and I found all the groups I possibly could. And I made myself useful to the groups, learned more about the quirks to Forex because I already knew about trading, but you learn certain aspects of Forex itself, foreign exchange currencies. And so that's exactly what I did. I dove head first and I let myself go to it and kind of engross myself in it. And the pivot point actually did not happen then. I actually got into the industry, climbed my way up a little bit. The pivot point happened shortly after that, where I basically had to decide, look, I've got some craziness going on in my life right now. I just lost my best friend. I was actually having huge marital problems, problems with all relationships in my life, actually. Family members were mad at me, friends were mad at me. I was pulling away and having a hard time, and kind of diving myself into this trading stuff, my phone, my laptop a lot. And I had a problem where a family member was doing drugs around my household, and so that's not good, and it was kind of hard to get rid of them. And of course you want to help your family, and my whole family was suffering at this time too. My some of my family members are not very well off. Well, most of them are, and they were struggling financially at this time and coming to me for help. And there was just a lot. It got more overwhelming in 2016, and so the pivot point came when I took a long hard look, kind of like when I was 16. I took a long hard look at my life and went, wow, this is craziness. I am failing, and so I thought I was failing, at least. I'll correct that in a moment, but I was thinking I'm failing everywhere in life. Just about every aspect you can fail in, and just about every aspect of my life is complicated. Work, business, which I was kind of trying to start up a little bit to help with all these problems, and family members and friends, and just everything. I think if you're watching this video, you've had a time in your life where you've been so overwhelmed and you just don't know what to do, right? You don't know how to change things. You don't know how to make things better, maybe for you, maybe for someone else, whatever the case may be. And I hit that point, a very low point. It hit me pretty bad. And I really just kind of decided, look, this has got to give. This is the final straw. And I'm going to launch a business, and it's going to be successful, and I'm going to pay off debts, and I'm going to help my family just like I wanted to. When I was actually 7 years old, I decided that I wanted to live completely different, not be poor, and my kids would have a better life, and I would have a better life, and I would provide for people I love and care about. And flashback to an adult hitting this bad point in life, this final straw. I was like, look, I'm going to accomplish that. Like, it's happening now. And I made up my mind right then and there, whatever it took. If I had to lose friends to it, I was not really prepared for that. But if I had to not sleep, if I had to work way too hard, way too many hours, if I had to learn too much, or whatever, if I had to learn new skills, if I had to evolve as a person, I made up my mind that it was going to happen, and I would do whatever it took to get to a better place. And that was my final straw. That was my pivotal time in 2016, where I was already making decent money, but like I said, everything was just falling apart and getting too crazy, too overwhelming. And so I did. 2016 launched me into, by the end of the year, I had a huge business just make crazy money and then completely fail. I won't go into the details, but there was some craziness with some people in it. And, I had to relaunch a whole new leg of the business to bring it back into 2017. 2017 brought more craziness. 2018 brought more craziness. There's a little bit of craziness here in 2019 as this video is being recorded. But, I learned a lot. I want you to know that final straw moment, I can look back and say, I've learned a lot of lessons. When I mentioned before that I thought I was failing at the time, I'm going to correct that now and say I was never failing. I was learning lessons. And I actually tell this to my son all the time when he's like, I'm stupid, or I can't figure this out. I'm like, no, you're learning. Or he's like, I'm failing. I'm like, no, you're learning. And that's what I was doing. I learned so much, but it took that final straw moment. It took me, and you watching this video, you've had a final straw moment, but maybe you've never done anything about it. And my point in this video is to share with you It doesn't matter the magnitude of anything that happened to me that brought me to that final straw moment, because what I did is what you can do. You can say, enough is enough. I'm going to change things. I'm going to do whatever it takes. You make up your mind that you're just going to do what it takes. No, you're not going to know how to start a business. No, you're not going to go know how to work a job and go be a full-time student. No, you're not going to know how to have kids. You're not going to know how to get married. You're not going to know how to buy a house. If you haven't done these things yet, you're not going to know. You know, if you're up to your ears in debt, you're not going to know how to get out of it. But you make up your mind and say, I'm going to change. I'm going to fix things. Things are going to get better, and you do what it takes. And really, having that rock solid commitment in your head, having that decision made in your head, it helps you. And then the other piece that you need is a strong why. Why are you going to change? Why are you going to do things? For me, family legacy. And there was too much wrong in my life, too much overwhelming. Things needed to change. But the most important thing to me, family legacy. Changing my kids' future, having wealth for generations to come so that I can take care of the people I love long after I'm gone, right? That is a strong enough why for me. You know, being able to take care of my grandparents, my parents, my siblings, you know, that when you want to give up, you know, when you've decided, okay, I'm going to change things, and then it gets too hard because you're still overwhelmed, it just doesn't magically go away, and you want to give up, that why is what carries you through that. That why is what gets you through it and keeps you making up your mind, you know, keeps that from changing, gives you that rock solid persistence and iron willpower. And you're going to need that, because to change things, especially if things are hard, especially if things are overwhelming, especially if you don't know what to do, to change things, you need that. So find your why. It doesn't have to be a child. It doesn't have to be, you know, anything that anybody else has. You find yours. Maybe you want money. Maybe you don't know what a nice lifestyle is like. Maybe you want a degree. Maybe you want to go change the world. Who knows what it is? But whatever it is, find that why, make up your mind, and go change things. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me, because I would love to hear feedback of what are things you're overwhelmed with? What are things that you're having a hard time? You know, why are you having a hard time making up your mind if you are? And you know, what are your whys? So that being said, I hope this video inspired you and motivated you to go change things and know that you can do it. And we'll catch you on the next episode.